What's up and welcome back to the Gridiron with Chance Aspen. Make sure you subscribe down below, like this video, comment, do all that stuff. Now, enjoy this video. All right, welcome back to week 4 of my 5 NFL thoughts. If you don't know by now, I give you my 5 NFL thoughts every single week, and this is my 4th week. And here we are, thought number 1 through week 4. Here it is. The Baltimore Ravens are still a top team in the AFC. Now, there might have been some questions surrounding Baltimore after their 0-2 start. They obviously lost to the Chiefs in week 1, and then at home, which is a bad loss, to a not very good Raiders team. They're decent, but they're not very good. And I think there were some questions, right? Their O-line hasn't looked as good. Derrick Henry has not looked like Derrick Henry, or didn't look like Derrick Henry through those first 2 weeks. He didn't really fit in the offense. But ever since that, they went to Dallas and beat down Dallas. That game was not as close as the score appeared at the end. And then back at home, Sunday Night Football, they beat up the Buffalo Bills. Dominated that game from start to finish. From the opening play, they dominated that game. And it just shows you that they are still a top team. When it comes down to it, they're still going to be there in the end. Because now they look really good. Those first couple weeks, like I said, Derrick Henry didn't look good. Now he looks like one of the best running backs in the NFL again. Lamar looks really good. The O-line, the offensive line struggled in those first 2 weeks. They struggled to run the ball. They struggled to protect Lamar. He was running for his life. Now that O-line is kind of settled in. Their defense is always going to be good. They're always going to play with physicality. That's what we expect from the Baltimore Ravens with John Harbaugh. They're going to play with physicality. But now they feel like a complete team again. Those first couple weeks, they did not look like the Baltimore Ravens were used to. And now they look great, and they are still a top team in the AFC. Thought number 2. The Kansas City Chiefs have one thing that no other team has. Some might say Patrick Mahomes, and that is true. But the one thing they have that no other team has is championship identity. Now, what does that mean? For me, it means when you get down to big moments, late in the fourth quarter, you need this play, you need this defensive stop. Do you make it? And every time I watch the Chiefs, they make the play, whether it's on offense or defense. Because sometimes it's not on Mahomes. Everybody loves to give Mahomes the flowers, but usually it's the defense making a big play, a big defensive stand, right? In Atlanta, Sunday Night Football, Nick Bolton makes the play to win them the game. And they have that championship identity. Like when it gets down to it and it's a big moment, you just know that they're going to make the play. The Chiefs are 4-0 this year. They're 4-0 this year. And have they really played well at all this year? I would say probably not. They have not looked like the Kansas City Chiefs. Their offense has been sloppy. Patrick Mahomes hasn't even played that well yet. We know he will, but he hasn't. But they know when it gets to a big moment, they're just going to keep the game close. And as long as they can keep the game close, when it gets down to it and it's a big moment, they know they're going to come through because they've been there and they've done that and they've done it on the biggest stage in the world. So they know big moment, we have that identity. We know what it takes when it's a game like this, when it's a close game and we need to make a play on offense or defense. Both sides of the ball can do it. And no other team has that. No other team in the league can say, we know when it gets to a big moment, either side of the ball is going to make a play. No other team has that level of championship identity. And it shows why the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls in the past 4 years, because they have that identity. And it's showing this year. They haven't played well at all this year, and they're still 4-0. Thought number 3. The Philadelphia Eagles right now are just talented. They remind me of a college football team who is just talented. Every time I watch the Eagles, I'm just like, they got so much talent. But why doesn't it show more on the field? Why don't they come out and just dominate some of these teams? Like this past Sunday, they're playing Tampa Bay. In Tampa Bay, it's a tough game. They got a lot of injuries. I get that. They get the doors blown off of them. They get dominated from start to finish. If you're that good of a football team, you should not get dominated like that from start to absolute finish. That game was not close. And every time I've watched the Eagles so far this year, they're just a team who has a ton of talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not good or they're not talented. They're talented. But they don't seem like they're using that talent. That talent's not coming onto the field and showing it. And I think it's coaching. I think their coach isn't very good. I think he mishandles the game a lot. I think it's overwhelming for him. And that's why I don't believe the Eagles are going to be a very good team, is because they're just relying on talent to win in the NFL. And in the NFL, that doesn't work, because even the bottom teams in the NFL have talent. You can't just win off talent. And that's right now what the Eagles are doing. And if they keep doing that, then they're never going to be where they want to get to again, and that's the Super Bowl. Thought number 4. Expect the unexpected this year. I don't know if it's just this year or it's just in my head and that's what I'm just thinking like this, but it seems like there's so many more upsets. There's so many more games where you're like, wow, I didn't see that team winning. Week 1, the Bengals against the Patriots, and the Patriots come out and beat them and physically dominate them on the line of scrimmage. Like, I didn't expect that. Or Washington going into Cincinnati. Now, I know I'm using Cincinnati and they're historically slow starters, but Washington going in there and scoring on every offensive possession. Look how good Washington's looked so far this year. They've looked amazing. They've looked fantastic. Like, I didn't expect that. Having the number 2 pick last year, rookie quarterback, rookie coach, and you look like that? Whoa. Sam Darnold, who it seems like has revived his career in Minnesota, now looks like the leading MVP candidate. Or he probably is the leading MVP candidate. He looks insane. He looks like Minnesota could actually do something because of him. Because he's elevated that offense. Baker Mayfield, same thing. Now, he was a little bit more last year too, so we knew about him, but he's looked fantastic this year. Darnold and Mayfield are probably the 2 leading MVP candidates so far this year. Like, that's what I mean about expect the unexpected. Whether careers are being revived, teams winning that you didn't expect, that's what makes the NFL so awesome, in my opinion, is you just don't know what to expect on a week-to-week basis. My 5th and final thought here in Week 4, Josh Allen has looked as good as he's ever looked so far this year. Now, there's a lot of questions heading into this year for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. The biggest thing is they're losing Stephon Diggs, who was their number 1 option, their go-to guy on offense. And so there was a lot of questions. We didn't know what this offense was going to look like without Diggs. Josh Allen only played a couple of years in the NFL without Stephon Diggs, and they weren't anything crazy. He was okay, but he wasn't anything amazing. And then he got Diggs, and he blew up, and he looked like one of the best quarterbacks in football. So there were some questions like, what's he going to look like without that number 1, like, elite of elite guys? We saw what Patrick Mahomes did when the Chiefs traded away Tyreek Hill. He went and won a Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying Josh Allen is going to win the Super Bowl, but I think he's proving a lot of people wrong. That offense looked as good as it's ever looked, and so has he. I just want to give some love to Josh Allen because he has looked amazing. And I didn't really expect it after losing Stephon Diggs. I didn't think he was going to look this good. I knew he was still a good player. I knew he could still play the game of football. He's got a strong arm. He's big, he's strong, and he's athletic at the quarterback position. But I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this level of high play without that elite number 1 guy. So it's impressed me. And I think he's looked amazing. As good as I've ever seen him. But that's my NFL thoughts through week 4. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, like, subscribe, comment, do all that, and have an awesome day.